We're back with our NCAA football prediction podcast, where we are joined today with Miss Milky. As always, got Zeke and Mr. Big D, and we're doing the NCAA football games for this weekend, which basically will be on the 20th, September 20th, 2013. And we're going to start off with Clemson versus North Carolina State. Over to you, Mr. Big D.
Clemson blow them out.
You're going with the Clemson Tigers.
Yep, I am.
Do you agree with that?
Blowout.
Blowout. Both of you guys are. Nobody's giving North Carolina State a lot of credit there. Colorado State versus Alabama.
Alabama roll tide.
Zeke, do you agree with that, Mr. Big D?
You know what? The little schools always prevail in battles like this because people underestimate them. Colorado State's got a heck of a quarterback. I'm going to go with Colorado State.
Wow. Making things interesting. It's back over to Mr. Big D. Florida A&M versus Ohio State. I have a feeling I know which way he's going.
Ohio State.
I'm going to go with Ohio State in this one.
Ain't you going with the little school?
Not in this one. Because Florida A&M ain't no little school.
Really? It's big?
Buckeyes.
You going with the Buckeyes also. Zeke's
It
going
would be
with
stupid not to. They're the best team in the country.
Arizona State versus Stanford. Big D.
This is probably going to be the game of the weekend, I would assume. There's two very good teams. Arizona State's got a tough defense. Is it at Arizona State? No, it's at Stanford. I'm going to take Stanford in a close one.
Mr. Big D goes with Stanford. Do you agree, Zeke?
I concur.
Both you guys are going with... Okay, just one moment. We got a phone call. I apologize to everyone. Just one moment. Hello? Yeah.
I'm done. I recorded.
Pardon the interruption. We're moving right ahead with Auburn versus LSU. Zeke.
LSU big.
LSU big. Do you agree with that, Mr. Big D?
I do agree with that.
FIU at Louisville, Mr. Big D.
You know what? I'll take Louisville in a close one.
Louisville in a close one. Do you agree with that, Zeke?
I will take Louisville also.
You going to B.E. Cook at FSU, Mr. Big D.
Florida State University.
Going with the Seminoles. Do you agree
Yes,
with
I
that?
do.
And Zeke agrees with that. It's back over to Zeke. North Texas at Georgia.
The Bulldogs.
Going with the Bulldogs. You agree with that, Zeke? I mean, Mr. Big D.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree. SMU at Texas A&M. Mr. Big D.
Got the best quarterback in the nation going up against the sucky defense. Johnny Manziel's going to throw all over him, and it's going to be 56-0 Texas A&M.
Whoa, that's pretty detailed predictions there. Zeke, do you agree?
I agree. A&M big.
A&M big. New Mexico State's taking on the UCLA Bruins. Over to Mr. Big D. How do you see this one going down?
Oh, this one's an easy win for the UCLA Bruins.
I agree.
You guys are in harmony today. Michigan at UConn. Zeke.
Michigan.
UConn's pitiful.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do you agree with that, Big D?
No, I do not.
You do not.
I'm going to go with the University of Connecticut.
Wow, this makes things interesting.
Uh-huh.
Picks the smaller teams.
I see.
SAU State at Miami. Zeke.
The Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes. Do you agree with that, Mr. Big D?
Oh, yeah, Miami will win this one big. If they don't quit before halftime.
Idaho State at Washington State. Mr. Big D.
Idaho State.
Idaho.
Is
Zeke.
it Washington or Washington State?
Oh, I'm sorry, Washington. It's Washington.
Washington's real deal. I like Washington.
Would you like to...
I'm sure he changed that. I've changed
You
it to
okay?
Washington.
Excuse me, that was mine. Both of them are going to go with Washington. It is back over to Mr. I guess we'll start with Big D. Maine versus Northwestern.
Northwestern's the real deal, too. They're a
They
talented
are.
team.
Yes, they are.
Zeke?
Northwestern.
You
They
going
got a
as
fine
well?
coach too.
This one has to be close because you're agreeing a whole lot, John. It's back.
Do you know where Northwestern is?
I do not.
Chicago.
It's in Chicago, the Windy City,
Yeah.
the second city.
This will be the game for me to watch.
I
right
hate to cut in within you guys being all in sync and stuff, but since they're competing and all that, they're going to jinx it. I bet they're going to jinx it.
You think you're going to jinx it?
Yes,
Well,
I think
they'll
jinx
be
it.
a winner. I think they've probably decided against each other enough. They've had different opinions. It's going to make it. It's going to be close, but it's going to be really interesting.
Tennessee and Florida.
Tennessee and Florida, Mr. Big D.
Florida's got the worst offense I've ever seen in my life. They really do. Their defense is pitiful as well. I'm going to take Tennessee in this one. Close game, I'm taking between
Mr. Big D's going to the Volunteers. Do you agree, Zeke? Oh, he's a chomping. He's a
It
chomping.
won't be easy though.
And he's going with
Plus,
the
it's a
Florida
Gainesville though.
Gators.
It's also Gainesville.
The Swamp.
Yeah.
Louisiana
Yeah.
Monroe.
That's exactly. Yeah, I was trying to remember that team. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Big D.
Louisiana Monroe and Baylor. These are both pretty pitiful schools, and Baylor's obviously got one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever existed. I'm gonna go with Baylor just because Louisiana Monroe is just pathetic.
Zeke.
Baylor.
You're good. Both of you.
Thank you.
Michigan State, Notre Dame. Zeke.
Go.
Go ahead, Dawson.
Fighting Irish.
Fighting Irish. Mr. Big D's going with the Fighting Irish. Do you agree with
I
that?
am too. Michigan State can't score. They have trouble scoring. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
They have trouble scoring.
Purdue at Wisconsin. Zeke.
Badgers. Big.
Do you agree?
I like the Badgers as well in that game.
Last but not least, Mr. Big D, Texas State at Texas Tech.
I'm gonna take Texas Tech.
Mr. Big D, do you agree with that, Zeke?
Tech and a cow tromping.
Wow.
Well, this one will be close.
It will. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, about this weekend's up and coming games?
No,
Anyone in particular that you really want to see?
Tennessee and Florida.
Michigan State's offense has got to get better. They
Look
can't.
forward to
They
seeing
can't.
UConn dog stomp the crap out of the Michigan Wolverines' pathetic offense and defense.
Oh.
When you let Akron score 24 points on a top 15 team, you need to understand, you need to let them sucky Wolverines and put them back out of the top 25 and let a real team that should be in contention like the Kentucky Wildcats in.
Wow. It's not every day we hear Mr. Big D actually taking up for the Kentucky Wildcats.
That's a first.
Yeah. They're a talented team after last week. Shutting down a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater, I will say Kentucky has one of the top 10 defenses in the NCAA, in my opinion.
Go
I
ahead,
have a
Zeke.
question for Big D.
Go right ahead. Mike's yours.
If this Christmas you got a Michigan hat or shirt,
Oh my God.
summer Christmas, what would you do to it?
I
Would
would-
you give it back? Give it away to somebody else?
I
or
would
what?
shred it, burn it up, throw it in.
And not tell the person that you wouldn't tell them what you did that because they got your Christmas present. You wouldn't tell them that.
Or would when you shred it and tore it up, you'd throw it right back in their face. What would you do?
What would you do?
That's probably what I'd do. Or I might just take it out in my yard, shoot it a couple times, make a video of it, pour gasoline all over it, and
Oh my
soak
God.
it completely in gasoline. Make sure to pee on it before I do it, and then throw some lighter on there and blow that thing sky
I had to
high.
ask. I
You
had
had
to
to
ask.
ask.
I had to ask.
What would you do, Zeke?
It's a gift. I'd take it.
And I happened to come by Zeke's computer the other day, and he was YouTubing. I think it was the '68 Michigan Ohio State game.
Ohio State won that game 50-14 that day. And they won the national title that year also. Beat USC in the Rose Bowl.
Oh my God.
I think I've seen you watching that before. Is that
Yeah.
just a great college game in your opinion?
I just liked it.
You just like I
The
understand.
announcers was
It was just good.
Yeah.
It was a good football game.
It's just one of
Yes.
them games where you're into it. You're feeling the vibe.
You're feeling the vibe.
Like last week when Akron almost beat the Michigan Suckerines right in their home state. I tell you, Ohio State's going to walk into the big house this year and blow their brains out.
Prepare.
you hope the Buckeye defense hope they're improved by then though, hopefully, right?
Don't need to when we got a quarterback as good as Braxton Miller.
They have to play defense, so you got to play defense defense wins
Not
championships.
to beat that horrible
sells
defense
tickets.
of Michigan.
Did you hear that?
What's this?
So defense wins championships, but offense sells tickets.
That's true, but Michigan's got one of the worst defenses I've ever saw. So I think Braxton Miller could easily just score. But we'll get to that when we do, and guess who I'll pick in that game? You can make your own think about that.
Yeah, that'll be up in there. When
Wow.
Ohio State takes on the Michigan Wolverines, we'll have to wait and ponder who Big D had taken that game, I'm sure. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and please tune in next week.